Welcome. I'm Annabelle, and today we are going to be talking about the Major Arcana and the different parts of the Major Arcana for development of the Fool or the person you're reading for. So thank you so much for being here. We are going to bring up that card view so you guys can appreciate all of this as well. So I have our Major Arcana split up into three parts. This is our personal journey, the interpersonal journey, and the universal journey for the Fool. The personal journey is the Fool through the Chariot, so cards 0 to 7. Remember, Major Arcana is numbered from 0 to 22. Or 21, but it's actually 22 cards. And some specialty decks will have 23, 22, 24 cards, and they'll have their own descriptions of what those cards mean. We will talk about those when we go into some specialty decks by the end of the summer, I hope. So the Fool is numbered 0 because he is null. He is nothing. He is everything of potential. He can become anything from this basic point. So keep that in mind. Learn your Roman numerals. Some decks are really kind and they give us Arabic Roman numerals, but the Roman numerals are typically the most common in the tarot deck. So the focus of the personal journey, cards 0 through 7, is the ego, identity, willpower, and personal growth. When the Fool is thrust upon the earth by the magician and the high priestess, the emperor and the empress raised him, and then he goes through his trials and tribulations, education, and the like. Reflective questions for this section of the tarot is, who am I? What is my purpose? We are really seeking understanding and charting our course in this personal journey phase of the Major Arcana. So if you get a reading with someone and you get a card from this segment of the Major Arcana, they may be seeking purpose. They may be seeking identity. And that will give you an indication. When you get Major Arcanas in your spread, you want to think these are major life-changing things, really lifespan kind of concepts. So the Major Arcana segment that it belongs to can give you a roadmap to what that client may need. So going into the interpersonal journey, this is where our Fool starts to interact with other people outside of the immediate family. So we go from card 8, Strength, through 14, Temperance. The focus of this part is relationships. Again, outside of our family, our immediate family from mommy and daddy. We are now grown up from being an itty bitty baby adolescent and going into young adulthood where we may have a job, we may have spouses, those kinds of things. So focus on relationships, values that are cemented, balance and choices, adult kinds of choices here. Our reflective questions are, how do I relate? And what do I value in others? Where are my morals? How do I feel about certain topics? And how do I relate to those around me? So it's an important phase of life, and it's a very important phase of the tarot. So it's an adolescent kind of, and this is an adolescent kind of energy. This is a young adult kind of energy that we're moving into. Now, the universal journey here is more transcendental questions and answers that we get. We are focused on the devil through the world here. So we have card 15 to 21. That's the end of the tarot, at the end of the Major Arcana. We're looking at karma, transcendence, freedom, spiritual mastery, and how one fits into the universal plan. So this is more reflective. This is more of an older person, wiser person that's now looking back and saying, well, I've done all these things. I've had all this fun when I was a kid. I got my ducks in a row when I was a mid-range adult. And now as I'm approaching the doorway on the way out, I have some questions about where I fit into the scope of things. So your reflective questions are going to be, what is my greater role in the universe? How do I integrate and collate all of the things that I've learned up to this point? So very, very intense kind of information here. Lots of questions about spirituality and God and the like. So I hope that that gives you a little bit better of an understanding of the major arcana. We will go through the sections one at a time so that we can talk about how the Fool functions during these different parts of his life. So I hope you enjoy the next section, which is going to be a lot of storytelling, which I love to do. I love to teach through storytelling. So I will see you guys over there.